Good morning. It's day 5 of our devotional on Old Testament truths to live by. And this week we're climaxing it by talking about one of my favorite subjects, and that is Joseph. We're talking from the book of Genesis today, and our story actually goes through more chapters in the Bible than any other story that is written, and that is on Joseph, and it runs from Genesis 37 through Genesis 37 through the chapter of 50, which means there is a lot that God is wanting to say to us about Joseph, his family, the things that he went through in life in order to receive the promises that God told him. I'm telling you, Joseph was a dreamer. He's had dreams when he was young, and it caused his brothers to hate him. The anointing upon his life caused his brothers to hate him, and hate him so bad that they wanted to destroy him and thought they had. It's a story that when he was 17, he went into slavery because his brothers had thrown him into the pit. He was wrongly accused of sexual misconduct and was imprisoned for about a decade, 10 years. But eventually Joseph was remembered for his ability to interpret dreams, and he was called into the service by Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. The famine Joseph predicted began, and his brothers arrived in Egypt to get grain. And their father sent them to buy grain. But you know what? They didn't know that the person selling the grain was the brother they had sold in slavery so many years before. I'm telling you, Joseph inspires so many stories between him and his brothers. And he talked about so much before he ever gave his brothers his true identity. And while there is much we can learn from this story that encompasses over 20 years of time, today I want us to just zero in on two things. Jesus, excuse me. It's early in the morning, y'all, I'm sorry. Joseph grew where he was. This is something that as a child of God, we need desperately to learn how to do, and that is grow where we are. I'm going to read what I have written here because it's good. If you read through the entire encounter of Joseph's life that spans all the way from chapter 37 to 50, you'll see a man who succeeded and grew wherever he was. When he served Potiphar, he found favor with him. When he was in prison, he was put in charge by the warden. And when he was finally released after interpreting Pharaoh's dreams, he was given control of the entire kingdom right beneath the king. Joseph grew and prospered where he was. He didn't wait to lead at age 30. Once he was given power by Pharaoh, he led well and was honorable, even in bondage. And he eventually led with strength and wisdom that ended up sustaining people through a 7-year famine. But it's because he had the nature of his God in every situation. He never turned from being less than what God had called him to. The second thing I want us to take from this today is Joseph saw the big picture. The dream that he saw as he was 17 years of age, the stars that were bowing to him, he never forgot it. He knew God had a promise for him, and that no matter what he faced in his life, he believed in the God of his fathers that would see him through, and that all of it was working together for his good because God had a plan for Joseph. God used all of the hardships that Joseph endured to bring a persecuted man to power over and over and over again. Yet even though he had favor with both God and man, we can assume that there must have been deep sadness at being betrayed by his brothers and torn from all he ever knew. Through it all, we see that Joseph saw a different picture than a temporary one. He was able, by God's grace and wisdom, to put all of the puzzle pieces of his life together to see how God allowed all of it to prevent mankind from starving in a famine. He didn't hold his brothers responsible for something he believed God was doing. He trusted in the broad picture held by God that used him to change the world. So no matter where we are or what our situation is, let's choose to grow wherever we are. Let's recognize there is a bigger viewpoint that we don't always see. And let's fully embrace and trust our God as he guides, directs, and orchestrates his purposes in our lives and for all mankind. Because it ain't over till he says it's over.